Yeah. You know what time it is? It's time to talk about victory. You know what I'm saying? And it's time for you to listen about victory. In this episode of Victory Talk Podcast, let's get it in. Yeah. Welcome to another episode of that Victory Talk Podcast. This is episode 159. We've been doing this shit. All right. I am your host, Big Brandon Carter, BBC, King Keto, the king of ketosis, Gymnasium Jesus, Jesus de Gimnasio para mi gente, los Latino. All right. And I'm joined by you know what I'm saying, my co-host / producer, Nima. What up?
Let's go.
Wasn't for Nima, we wouldn't even have this shit, man. He makes it purple in the back. You know what I'm saying? He get all the lights, all these camera angles. He's doing this shit live. Not everybody would do their fucking podcast live. It's really just me, fresh and fit, and I think some white guys, right? But as far as black guys, it's just me, fresh and fit, and I think FitX, man. I think we the only ones doing this shit live. You know what I'm saying? Thanks to Nima. All right. We also got my girlfriend, Minovia, man, in the super chats. You know what it is, man. So she gonna be reading your super chats, right? You know what I'm saying? That's the only way I'm really gonna see you, because like the way I'm looking at the camera, so I don't really see the shit. But if you super chat, I see it and I'll answer it. I'll answer all your super chats. All right. But she can see all the comments. So if you start talking crazy, she's gonna kick you out, man, ban you. You're gonna get banned. Damn. And all this greatness you won't be able to participate in ever again. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of fucked up. That's fucked up for you. And you know, I can't, like if you say something dope, like what's happening right now, she puts it on the screen, I can see those shit. So if you give me a compliment, I'll see all the compliments, you know. Praise. I'm a simple man. Praise is the way to my heart, you know. Anyway, this is episode 159. All right, we got a lot of stuff we want to talk about today, man. We starting a little late, Nima. It's not Nima's fault. It's my fault. But it's a good reason. I was talking to my son this time, man. You know, we had some shit. We had to, you know, he's 7, and I was like, listen, man, Trump's in office now, man. So like, we got to get it popping. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some shit that you need to start getting serious about life, homie. All right, because we about to hit this bull market. All right, Trump's gonna deregulate everything. All right, you know what I'm saying? Ain't gonna be no rules, which means you can get as much money as you can. So I'm trying to explain to him. He in 2nd grade, man. But I'm talking to him like, hey, man, we got 4 years to really run up a bag. You know what I'm saying? And if Kamala would have won, we would have been talking about Thomas the Train and Legos, like we usually talk about, man. We have a like deep conversation about Legos, but this time it was like, yo, man, we need to get this financial abundance, homie. Come on now, let's go. Enough games, little homie. All right, Trump's in office. It's time to get it popping. Don't worry about who Trump is, nigga. It's time to get, you know, all them signs you seen. He running shit now. All right, let's get this money. let's stop fucking around. All right, put the Legos down. Start reading these fucking financial reports. It's time to get in. No. We're not reading. We're not reading Dr. Seuss, homie. We're reading motherfucking Berkshire Hathaway. You know what I'm saying? We reading Warren Buffett, homie. All right. Let's get it together. Get your fucking thinking cap on. Get your head in the game, little homie. All right. you also need to get your head in the game because 2025 is going to be crazy if you play your motherfucking cards right. All right. And I'm going to show you how to do that. But you got to build some habits to do that. Right. If you want to take advantage of this shit in 2025, the bull market, I think, is about to. You got to have your habits in order. But that's what we're going to talk about. But first, I got some sponsors. 2 sponsors. We're going to get into them real quick. First one is the newsletter Big Money Methods. Come on now. Big Money Methods. This is the newsletter all about how to get methods to help you get big money, written by me and Chris, one of my top salespeople, and Scene, my top copywriter. All right. So Scene wrote some shit about the Tabata method. Y'all know I fucks with that. I got videos, millions of views on the Tabata method. Right. I got some shit about, wrote an article about how to charge higher prices so you can make more of this money. Premium pricing model. You know what I'm saying? Scene wrote about how to fucking get money up this vending machine money, man. Instead of giving all your money, eating fucking snacks and treats like a fucking girl, you can make money off of it. Come on now. Let's click that link in the description. Put your email in here. All right. And then hit subscribe and you get that. All right. One more sponsor that we're going to get into the habits you need to do to get this fucking money in 2025. All right. Second sponsor is the product that's been in development for a long time under the radar. So we kept this one close to the vest. We didn't really share this with people, but this is a new product we got coming out. So it'll be out by the holidays. We're going to have pre-orders. Pre-orders are coming soon. And it's called Thot Repellent. This is a real product that's really coming out. Thot Repellent. All right. Now this is designed. It's been genetically engineered to only affect the DNA of thots, hoes, sluts, freaks, tramps, Jezebels, skanks, stank hoes, motherfucking skeezers. And this took a long time, but it also repels hood rats. All right. Also, we got it to work on hood rats. Now, only their DNA, like good women, they gonna motherfucking smell this and be like, man, you smell delicious. What is that aroma? And you'll just be like, nah, hey, baby, that's just a little bit of Thot Repellent. You know it is. But the fucking nasty girls, bad girls, they're gonna be like, it's like, like when a vampire gets hit with the fucking sun. Like, that's what's gonna happen to them. They won't be able to get close to you, and it's good so they don't infiltrate your motherfucking shit you got going on. Because these fucking, they're like these kind of women. They're like mental terrorists, and you can't negotiate with terrorists. Trump's in office. All right, we're not negotiating with terrorists, and thots are mental terrorists. All right. So this will keep you safe from them. This is going to come around the holiday season. We're going to have pre-orders soon. Real products really coming out, and you'll be able to get this for your loved ones, get a few for your dad, get a few for your fucking your brothers. If you got a son, get some percent. I'm gonna be spraying this on my son before he goes to school. Like, all right, little homie, let's get you ready. Shh. Can't have them little thots. trying to act all stank on the playground, man. All right, get you caught up out here, man. All right, this is really coming out. However, we do need your help, right? We've been crowdfunding this since the beginning. Y'all helped us get it this far, right? But we need to put, we in the red zone now. We need to push it across the goal line. So all of your super chats go towards the development of Thot Repellent. If the pre-orders aren't out by the holiday season, that's your fault for not super chatting enough. All right, it's your fault. Don't blame me. I'm doing everything I can, but you got to help me help you. I got Thot Repellent. I was wearing it on the plane today, man, because it'd be some fucking thots at the plane station. It's a plane station, not an airport. Airport's a motherfucking bullshit word. All right. I'm spraying this at the plane station. This thots at the plane station, man. You know what I'm saying? TSA. Bitches didn't fucking start working there because they made good life decisions. Ain't nobody dreamed about being the TSA. Man, them was young. That's what the tots grow up to be. All right. Plane station. So we need your help. All your super chats go towards this. We're gonna get it out. All right, cool. I think no. All right, cool. Let's get into building these habits. Help you get this motherfucking money in 2025. 2025 is on track to be a year that can change your life. It can be life changing. This is a year where you can start building generational wealth. We got Trump in office, right? Stock market, crypto market has already spoken. They definitely believe in Trump and his leadership, and they've spoken, right? And the shit he's about to do, he's deregulating everything. It's going to be a very business friendly environment. I don't think it's going to be a poor person friendly environment because traditionally that's not how the Republican Party really works, right? But I'm not a poor person anymore, so I'm a ball. And I want you to ball too. All right. And I'm gonna show you how to take advantage of what I think is about to be a bull market as a result of Trump winning this election. But I'm not the only one who thinks this. So before I show you how you can take advantage of this, I want you to hear from one of my buddies, the homie Ian from Earn Your Leisure podcast. They do this shit every fucking Monday. And he posted this on his Instagram. And it's a lot of the same shit I've been saying for fucking ever. But hold on, let me bring this shit up. Don't show it till I tell you. Hold up. All right.
It's mandatory that you put 40% of your money into the market now. You don't have an option. You as an entrepreneur, them first 4 years when you're trying to figure it out, you're not going to outpace the S&P or Bitcoin or Nvidia or iBit or Tesla on this run or Eli Lilly or Lockheed. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You have to put your money into assets that are going to make more money than you are and put them into better entrepreneurs than you are, for sure. That's mandatory that you put 40% of your money into the market now. We don't have an option.
I'm just telling you, man.
You as an entrepreneur, them first 4 years.
I've been saying for as long as I can remember, I invest 50% of my money, 50% of every dollar I make. I showed it to you when I talked about MBA accounting. I talked about the whole system. But now there's other people saying it. My boy Ian, Master Investor, shout out to him on Instagram, the Master Investor. He's saying that as an entrepreneur, it doesn't matter how much money you make, especially if you're just starting, you're not going to do better than the best companies in the world in this market environment because shit is about to skyrocket. Shit is about to go fucking crazy. All right. And you need to be investing as much money as you can into these markets. But most of y'all are poor boys, right? And you ain't got enough money to invest 40% of your money in the market, right? You too broke. So we got to make more money, right? We got to make more money and become more successful. And in this video, what the fuck? Okay. All right. So in this video, I'm going to break down the habits you need to build in order to not only make more money, but to just make this year the best year of your life. This is going to be a life-changing year for you, but you have to change as a person. You have to build certain habits. Okay. Now, here's what I want you to imagine. I want you to imagine that, let's say you died today, right? And don't get worried. You're still alive. This is just a thought exercise. Right. And then you meet God. You like, yo, what up, God? And he's like, yeah, what up, man? And you like, damn, God, what? I thought you loved me. You're like, why? That's what I heard. Like, why aren't you showing me love? He's like, man, because this is what you were supposed to do. And he showed you a version of yourself who didn't waste time, right? Who didn't bullshit his time away on fucking Instagram, TikTok, Pornhub, OF, whatever the fuck y'all be doing, right? Who wasn't lazy, who didn't skip workouts, right? Who worked diligently, took advantage of all the opportunities that were put in front of him, right? Who made the most out of every day, out of every minute of every day, to become the best version of himself he could be. And he showed you this motherfucker, right? And he showed you what kind of shape this person was in. He showed you what kind of income he showed you what kind of income this person produced. He showed you what kind of financial future this person built for his offspring, how he set up generational wealth, right? And then he looked at you, was like, motherfucker, but you did this. Wouldn't that be fucked up? Well, I believe that might happen, right? I believe that's what hell is like. And I don't want you to live in that hell. I want you to actually become that person, and you can become that person, but you have to build these habits in order to do so, in order to make that a reality. Bring up my notes, man, because I can't get a fucking presentation for you. All right. So first thing we need to do, build these habits, right? The habits you need to build is time management. Make this better. Time management is super important, right? It's super important because what is life? It's time, right? You're born and then you die. And in between that is what we call life, but it's really just time, right? You have a certain amount of time here, and how you spend it will determine what kind of outcomes you have, right? And, some people say dumb shit like, oh, you can't take money with you. You can't take it with you. No, it's not about what you take when you fucking die. It's about what you leave, right? What do you leave behind? What kind of impact did you leave on the people you love? What kind of impact did you leave on the world? What kind of impact did you leave on your offspring, right? The family you left behind. It's not about what you take. It's about what you leave. You know what I'm saying? And you only got a certain amount of time to fucking do it, right? Bruce Lee said, if you love life, don't waste time, because time is what life is made of, right? So we have to manage our time, right? And because this is our number one weapon in our arsenal in the war against poverty, in the war to accomplish our goals. Time is our number one asset, and we have to manage it, right? So first thing you need to start doing is using Google Calendar. I have whole videos on this, right? But this video is not sponsored by Google. I'll take the money though. You know what I'm saying? If you motherfucking nerds are watching, I'll take the money. But if you're not gonna pay me, man, just shut the fuck up. All right. Google Calendar, right? And what we're going to do in Google Calendar is we're going to plan every hour of every day. Plan every hour of every day. All right. Let me show you something. Here is what my calendar looks like. You won't really be able to see it, but you'll be, right? This is the month view of it, right? Yeah. Every hour of every day is planned out. My days are choreographed. I know exactly what I'm doing. And some people may say, man, that's too rigid. That's too rigid. Yo, shut the fuck up. It's rigid because my goals are super ambitious, right? If you have low level goals, like if you just want to live another year or something like that, if that's the magnitude of your ambition, then yeah, you can fucking freestyle every day and just do what you want to do, right? But if you're trying to accomplish big shit, right? If you want to set up a legacy that you leave behind, if you want to do anything really noteworthy, then you're gonna have to do things that most people aren't willing to do, right? So what that looks like for me is that we talked about this before, but it bears repeating. Every hour, every week, there are 168 hours in every week. Everybody gets the same amount of hours, right? And if you sleep 8 hours a night, which you should, right? That's 56 hours. Boom. All right. So that's going to leave us with 112 hours. All right. Now, I recommend that you work 80 hours a week. You work 80 hours a week. All right. And this leaves you with 32 hours left to do whatever you want. Right. But this is how we're going to get ahead. This is how we're going to get ahead. And this is what I started doing after my father. Oh, fuck. This is what I started doing after my father blew his goddamn brains out in 2007. This nigga shot himself in the head. Had a whole family and shit, right? All right, cool. Fuck. Now we're all fucked up, right? Make matters worse, then the recession of '08 hits. And we're all fucked up, you know, because he didn't leave. You know, you can't get there's no life insurance. Almost all life insurance has a suicide clause, right? Otherwise, motherfuckers would just be buying that shit and blowing their brains out all the time, right? So that you can't get money if you commit suicide, right? But he did. So he didn't leave us any money. He left us a bunch of fucking bills and problems, right? Mom had the fucking taxes that he owed back, taxes, IRS calling all the time. It's all fucked up, right? And I'm like, all right, so what do we do, right? All right, I guess we got to figure it out. Then the recession hits, right? Lehman Brothers, stock market crash, the global economy starts to collapse. And I had a college degree, but I couldn't get a job. I couldn't get a good job at the time because everybody was laying people off. We had record levels of unemployment. Like when I hear people complain about the economy now, I think you motherfuckers are soft. You don't know what it's like, right? I know what it's like when it's bad. And when it's bad, motherfuckers, when it's bad, it's bad, right? General Motors almost went out of business. The fucking banks in the United States of America almost went out of business. The government had to bail all this shit out, right? Anyway, record levels of unemployment, right? So record levels of unemployment, the banks were about to fucking fail. Imagine what would happen if the banks go out of business. We were on the brink of collapse, right? So what I do, man? Well, I'm not a bitch, right? I'm like, we got to figure it out. So I just start working 80 hours a week, right? You may be thinking, how do you do that? Well, that's when I started fucking planning out every hour of every day. Planning out every hour, every day in Google Calendar. I have whole videos on how you can do this, right? But what I noticed was that, man, I was wasting a lot of time, right? So I just got a bunch of different jobs, right? I was working. I woke up at 4, train people in the morning, showered at the gym, right? Then I went and worked at the Prada store for another 8 hours, right? I was a security guard at the Prada store. I wasn't good at the job, right? I didn't guard anything or keep anyone secure. In fact, a lot of shit was stolen under my watch. And I didn't try to stop him. I was like, yeah, nah, he got his guy. I remember once I opened the fucking door for this lady and she had just stole, it was like, oh, white lady. I didn't think she was a thief, right? You know what I'm saying? And I opened the door for her and she walked out. She said, thank you. I said, hey, thanks for coming. You know? And she walked out with a $5,000 purse. And then one of the security guards, the security manager, he saw the shit on the fucking cameras and he runs down. She just walked out with the purse. And I'm like, listen, guys, she got it. So we got to do better. As a team, we got to do better. But I wasn't about to stop that bitch, man. Anyway. Anyway, I did that 5 days a week. And then on the weekends, I trained people in the morning and I was the weekend manager of a restaurant in Queens, Astoria, Queens. It was a barbecue restaurant. And yo, man, I did that for 2 fucking years. But guess what? I wasn't broke when I was done. So during the worst, literally, the second worst economic collapse in American history, right? The first one was the Depression. This was almost as bad as the Depression. I mean, not that bad, but it was number 2, right? They called it the Great Recession. During that time, I made over $100,000 both years, just outworking poverty, just outworking. You can all do that, especially now. Now shit is crazy. So work 80 hours a week. Work at it. In order to do that, you got to manage your time. And this is going to be harder if you have a bunch of kids, right? I didn't tell you to have all them kids, bro. I did not tell you to have all them fucking kids. I'd have told you not to. I'd have been like, hey, man, wait till you're financially secure to start giving birth to humans, But, you was thinking with the wrong head, man. All right. So like you might not be able to work 80 hours a week, but work to capacity. Like whatever it is, work to capacity. Now you still got to spend time with your kids. You still got to spend time with your family. That's what these other hours is for, man. I know I got to eat. What about eating, showering, and fucking blah, 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 blah. Well, who else likes to eat? Yeah, your family, man. Eat with them motherfuckers. Clean with them motherfuckers. Go run your errands with these motherfuckers. Hey, kids, gather around. We're going to the grocery store, right? Make it into an adventure. My son loves going to Target. That's when he asks to go to Target, right? It's dope, all right? And that's when you got to do all the other shit. Do that shit in them 32 hours. Do it with your family, right? And if you're like in your 20s talking about spending time with family, you sound like a bitch, right? If you ain't got kids and shit, what you talking about? Spending time with your mommy? Yo, man, you spend too much time with your mommy already, man. That's why you sound like a hoe, right? You know what I'm saying? It's time for you to get away from her for a little while, man. Take your motherfucking stop breastfeeding for a minute, motherfucker, and then try being a man just for a little while. Because remember, we have to invest. Ian said 40%. I've been saying 50% for fucking a decade. For at least a decade, I've been saying invest 50%, right? So the average American works 39 hours, like 38, 39 hours, not even 40, right? But a week. I'm telling you to double that. If you double that, hey, you already double your income. And the reason we need to do that is because we need to invest that in the market, right? Right? I'm not telling you not to start your business. I'm not telling you not to do any entrepreneurial shit. Yeah, do that shit, right? Make money, but you are not going to get a better return this year. The next year, 2025, 2026, you're not going to get a return in these next few years better than the best business managers in the world who run these Fortune 500 companies. All right. I'm telling you, this shit is going to outpace you. Right. So anyway, but if you do it right, you can set up like real wealth, man. Right. You can set up real wealth. All right. So it's time management. First of goddamn all. Right. And then, right now, just because you plan your time doesn't mean you'll fucking do it, right? So, fuck. They changed this app, Nima. They fucking switched it on me. All right, let me see if I can figure this out. It's this one, right? Yeah. There we go. All right. So once we start managing the time, right, and we're planning out every hour, every day, right? I already kind of said it, but I'm just write it again. But it's work. Let me make this more clear. I said it already, but I didn't write it in my diagram. All right. Work 80 hours a week. All right. Boom. Work 80 hours a week. Right. And now we have our time management in order. Right. This is going to allow us to invest 50%. All right. Invest 50%. And listen, if you want, you could just pick an index fund, S&P 500, QQQ, something like that. If you're more sophisticated, you can pick individual stocks. But This shit is about to go fucking nuts. You know what I'm saying? This shit is about to go nuts. Don't listen, don't think differently, right? It's about to go nuts. Work 80 hours a week, invest half your money, right? But we also, this is very clear, do not raise living expenses. Now, yo, I don't want to see none of you motherfuckers buying Lambos and shit these next 2-3 years, man. Even if you got Lambo money, you need to be put that needs to be motherfucking investment money now. And you want, because we want our investments to pay for our expenses, right? So if you watch, so if you read Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, that wasn't racist, was it? I don't think so. It's like when you watch the news and they say the Hispanic people's names in like Hispanic accent. It's okay to say an Oriental person's name in Orient. Was Oriental racist? Fuck. Listen, I'm sorry, Asians. I don't want no beef. I don't want to go outside. I got to worry about a fucking team of ninjas attacking me or some shit. You know what I'm saying? I am sorry. It's not on purpose. All right. Anyway, man, if you read Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, then he talked about he said about he had two dads. They weren't like in a homosexual relationship. It was like one of them just wasn't his real dad. One of them was like his homie's dad who was like a dad to him. It wasn't like he had two dads who was like married on some gay shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's okay if he was though, right? We love all people, man. I don't care who you have sex with is none of my business, right? I'm just saying this wasn't that. This wasn't no Diddy shit. This was some no Diddy shit. All right. Anyway, two dads, no Diddy. All right. He had his po dad. This is po dad. This is Po Daddy. And Po Daddy, he had a job, J-O-B. Boom. You know, I would just put work. It makes more sense if I just put work. Right? He would work. He worked for money, right? It makes sense. Everybody's with me now. That's why we all work, right? He worked for money. Then he spent his money on shit. All types of shit. You know what I'm saying? Life shit, regular shit. You know, just he spent his money on shit. That's what most people do. This is what most people do. You buy, right? But Rich Daddy, that's what my girlfriend calls me. But Rich Daddy, Rich Daddy, he worked for money. All right, they on the same kind of time right now. They both working for money, right? But Rich Dad spent his money on assets. He spent his money on assets. And then he spent his money, and then the assets bought him. He used the assets to buy him shit, right? But see, the assets will keep buying you shit over and over again. They'll keep buying you more shit. Like they'll buy you that shit forever. For example, this watch is one of my cheaper watches. This is the AP Royal Oak Offshore Alinghi Cup Edition in titanium. right? They only made like 1,000 of these. Don't go try to get you one. It's not difficult to find, right? But they made 1,000 of these, right? Now I used assets to buy this, right? But I still have the assets. So the assets bought my next watch too. You get what I'm saying? But if you work and you spend money on shit, right? Then the money's gone. It's gone forever. And you got to work again to get more shit, right? But I spend my money on the assets. The assets bought the shit, but the assets keep producing shit. It's like, this is like farming. What you want to think is like farming. Imagine, I want you to think about it like this. Imagine, this is how the first baller was created. The first motherfucker to really ball, right? This is back in like the hunter-gatherer days, right? Motherfuckers found some seeds and shit, or they got some seeds. And most of these motherfuckers was like, yo, man, we got some seeds. Let's eat these seeds, right? And they just eat the seeds. Now they got to look for more seeds when they hungry, more food, right? They look for food, found it, ate it. The first baller, he saw these seeds, was like, you know what, though? Instead of eating these seeds, I'm going to put these motherfuckers in the dirt. And motherfuckers was like, the other cave motherfuckers was like, yo, man, you putting the food in the dirt? What's the matter with you? You supposed to eat that shit. You put it in dirt. He's like, nah, y'all don't get it. If I put these seeds in the dirt, they gonna grow crops. Off these crops, I'll be able to feed my family for generations, right? And the broke caveman, this is what's gonna be my book, rich caveman, broke caveman. All right. The broke caveman was like, dumbass, putting the food in the dirt. Man, in fact, we gonna eat these seeds and then we're gonna go find us some more seeds to eat. YOLO. All right. So it was on some YOLO caveman shit, right? But rich caveman was like, yo, nah, I got these seeds. Instead of eating them now, I'm gonna delay gratification, put these seeds in the ground. And he kept getting more seeds, boom, put them in the ground. Next you know, this motherfucker had a whole plantation. He had a whole crop of seeds that grew into fucking plants, and now he can eat off the plants. Now he don't have to be a nomad no more, right? Because the Po cavemen, they was on some nomad YOLO shit, right? They if you know nomads, they you know, go around the earth looking for food and shit, right? But he was able to actually settle down. The rich caveman, he was able to settle down, right? And he wasn't a nomad no more, right? That's why they because he wasn't mad. I ain't mad. I ain't mad. Right? He was able to just settle down, build a family, a stable family. He didn't have to travel, scour the earth for seeds because the seeds was working for him. He put in the work, planted the seeds. Now the seeds is working. Now he's building. This is how civilization started. These were the niggas who started civilization. If these motherfuckers didn't do this shit, we'd all be fucking going around the earth looking for seeds right now. But the rich caveman had the mental fortitude to delay gratification, plant the seeds, start a civilization. Now he's building his family there. You know what I'm saying? Starting governments, creating currency. Next thing you know, y'all watching my YouTube videos. That's how it works, man. I mean, I skipped a few steps, but like, you know, when be no YouTube had these things. Anyway, I digress, right? This is how life works, right? You need to stop being a motherfucking nomad, working for the seeds. You still work for the seeds, but start planting them motherfuckers in the ground, right? Start planting them motherfuckers so they grow, and you do that by buying assets. But yo, rich daddy wasn't a lazy motherfucker. He kept working. He kept working, right? Boom. What'd he do? He bought more assets. Boom. He kept doing that shit, kept repeating the process, right? Next thing you know, the assets is buying more shit. More shit. Next thing you know, this motherfucker's rich. This motherfucker's rich, right? He's buying fucking. He's balling. Poe Dad died. Poe. That's gonna be you if you don't listen to my advice, man. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be you, right? Because that's how you get rich. That's how you get rich. You make more money than you spend, and you invest the difference over a long enough period of time. You'll get money, right? You invest it in assets, right? I'm telling you, now's the time for the market to put that money into the market. All right, we're gonna finish this list, but speaking of the fucking market, we're gonna take a quick deviation from this. I'm gonna come back to this and show you what's at the top of this pyramid. But first, man, we got to talk about the market with the homie Young Candlestick in the market update. Let's get it. What's up, brother? What's good, man? What's good? What's popping, brother?
You know, whenever Brandon brings out the whiteboard, I've got to take notes, and I hope you're doing the same.
You got to listen, man. Success leaves clues, Young Candlestick.
Exactly. It's amazing. So basically, we're going to be breaking down the markets. We're going to break down some sectors. We'll talk about some individual stocks, and then we'll take some questions.
Hey,
let's get right into it. So markets are actually slightly down this week. And the big question that we want to ask ourselves is the Trump pump over? So this
Trump
is basically
pump, Paul, no Diddy.
Yeah, exactly. This is the Trump pump that happened right after election night or during election night. And lately the market's kind of just been going sideways to slightly lower. And it's ever since I made that price target of 600, that's been the dead all-time high so far. So looking at the overall SPY, we can see a little
Greg, real quick. Check which microphone is on. Just let me make sure.
Yeah. Let's double check.
Just check.
It says Yeti.
Okay. All right. Cool.
My Yeti.
What Yeti you got?
It's just the blue Yeti. I've had it for about 4 years. When I was
all right. It's fine right now. Ask me about that later. I got some. Okay.
I'll trust Nima if he has any microphones.
Yeah. Well, okay. Here's the thing. The Yeti, you supposed like to get the best sound. You got to be close to it, and you're not close. It's fine. You sound fine. Don't fuck with it now. You muted yourself. We don't even hear you now. You fucking up. We're gonna address this later, Young Candlestick. You know what I'm saying? All right, but we'll figure it out. We'll find a way. But that's why I have this one. But even we'll worry about it later. Don't even worry about it. I got you, man. You sound good. Unmute yourself. We can't hear you, brother. We can't hear you. Nope. You ruined it, Young Candlestick.
I think you pressed the button on the mic.
You might have pressed the button on the mic, player. Nah. I think look, he's muted himself on StreamYard. Can you unmute him on?
It's just automatically muted on StreamYard.
You good. All right, we back.
We good. Okay, back to the markets. On Thursday, we had what's called a doji day. So that's what's called an indecisive day, meaning it didn't go up too much, it didn't go down too much. Whenever you see a doji day, it gives you a pretty good setup for the next day. If you tend to break the low of the doji bar, you usually see a little bit more downside. If you break the high of the doji bar, you usually see more upside. So I'm not saying that this is like the end of the bull market. The market just might drop for a little bit for the next coming days or weeks. And I do think it is a dip buy at SPY like 585 all the way down to 576.
Yeah, I mean, the market was overbought. So it's probably just calming down. It's just a correction.
Yeah, exactly. It's totally normal for after a big impulse wave up to either go sideways or even pull back. So
where'd you put your buy at?
Yeah, so if you want a short-term dip buy, this old all-time high at about
I was thinking that.
Yep.
Yeah, I was thinking the same.
A really juicy dip buy. I don't think that it goes much lower than 577 on the SPY.
577. Yo, so you cash secure puts, huh?
You definitely could do cash secured puts on that. I think the best way to get involved with the SPY is what Brandon was saying earlier. This is an asset, so let's just auto invest into it. $50 a week, $100 a week, $500 a week, $5,000 a week, whatever extra cash that you have, just throw a little bit into it each and every week. And if you ever get one of these bigger drops, that's where you can allocate more cash to the SPY. I think
because we for real in a bull market right now. I mean, it's clear. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, higher highs, higher lows, markets and sectors are confirming it. We're still going to take a look underneath the hood to see what could be happening next because the SMH, the semiconductors, are selling off right now. And it's not too crazy, but the semiconductors, they're a leading indicator for the tech space. Semiconductors tend to not do as well under a Trump presidency. And that just has to do with the global supply chain, tariffs, stuff like that. On the last Victory Talk podcast, I gave my favorite semiconductor to buy, which is NVIDIA. So NVIDIA has a buy set up over the all-time highs.
Oh, all right. So
boom, there's a potential trade idea. You kind of have to wait for it to actually break, and you'll know it's likely going to continue if the volume comes in. So NVIDIA, my price target on NVIDIA is $170 a share. It could take a few months or years to get to that price, but it could also happen much quicker, as we'll see when we talk about some other
shares or leap calls. What's up?
You know, I think I'm one of those investors that likes to do a little bit of both. So maybe like grab like 100 shares of NVIDIA and then buy like 2 or 3 leap calls.
How much a leap call costs on NVIDIA?
You know, it really depends on which strike price and expiration date that you choose. But let's say we think NVIDIA is really going to take off with robotics and AI. So we'll go up to January 2027. You could buy like the 150 strike leap call that's just about at the money. And it's going to cost you about $4,700. But what's cool about it is you're going to be able to control about 68 shares of NVIDIA. So if NVIDIA goes up $1, you'll make $68. If it goes down $1, you'll lose $68. But what's cool about that is the more that NVIDIA goes up, the delta ramps up and you control more and more shares.
Yeah.
So Nancy Pelosi's long on NVIDIA. She's also long on AVGO. That is dropping with the overall SMH ETF. So that's totally fine. I've been using actually the SMH ETF to hedge my portfolio during this down week. So SMH puts might still be in play short term. We talked about MU short. That did just slightly break support. That's dropped about 5.6% since Tuesday. AMD I noted as a short. AMD has dropped about 4.5%. I do think these stocks maybe have a little bit more downside. It's tough to say because the market's still like in a push-pull right now. And so it's one of those things where I'm more cash heavy in my shorter term trading accounts, but I'm leaving.
I'm super cash heavy right now. I mean, as far as like what I already got invested.
Exactly. I'll leave the investments alone. The whole goal is to just keep accumulating.
Yeah.
But when it comes to trading, I do try to keep those separate, and the trading accounts are a little bit more in cash. So it's one of those things where AI does have the potential to go parabolic. I mean, we can just take a look at the monthly chart of the QQQ ETF. I mean, this is like what AI is capable of, like infinite upside.
That's crazy. The Qs.
Like, you want to control the downside in the market. But as long as you do that, you need to give yourself the opportunity to have unlimited upside. And that's where you can actually make it big in the market, is by having those skewed upside returns and capped downside returns. So in other news, I want to talk a little bit about vaccine stocks. So Trump picked Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to be his Department of Health and Services secretary. Now, Robert F. Kennedy, he's not exactly like an anti-vaxxer, but he doesn't trust some of it, and he thinks it needs to be a little bit more regulated. And so lately, actually, the vaccine stocks have been getting absolutely crushed. So this is Moderna over here getting crushed. I'm not saying that there's a setup on this, but I'm just saying if you're a short-term day trader, you can look for some volatility in stocks like Moderna, NVAX, Novavax. So all of those stocks are getting crushed. Pfizer's taking a hit. Pfizer is the most undervalued of those stocks, and Pfizer also pays a dividend. I'm not saying that they're a buy, but I'm just saying keep that on watch. Okay. Next up, I want to talk about a few individual stocks. So
let's get it.
Disney reported earnings today. What did we say on Tuesday, Brandon?
Yeah.
Disney's going to likely go up. And Disney, ever since we talked about it on the Victory Talk podcast since 94.
Come on, man. Let them know. Talk your shit.
I gave a 115 price target. The high of the day today was 114.81. So I was expecting that to probably happen like a year or so, but it just happened in a few weeks. Disney up 22%. I'm mostly out of Disney, like 90% out of my Disney longs. If Disney comes back into like 98, that could be a potential former breakout area dip buy. Disney tends to get a lot of hype whenever they release like a new Marvel movie, or new Spider-Man movie, a new Avengers movie. And even just recently, Deadpool and Wolverine made 1.3 billion, and so that actually impacted their earnings report.
And it's on streaming now. Like I think it's on Disney Plus now.
Boom, there you go. So that's going to attract more subscribers, and that'll have them getting consistent revenue. So if you anticipate a stock or a company is going to have really good revenues, really good profits, you can partake in that by buying.
You told him Disney. You told him Disney.
Yeah, as I said, this is an ascending triangle. It kind of look goofy down here, but that's the best time to accumulate when nobody else is really talking about it or thinking about it. So that's something to consider. And another reason why I was super bullish on XLC since the 89 level, XLC made new all-time highs today, up about 9.4%. So XLC, what lives in XLC? Well, Disney lives in XLC. Google lives in XLC. Google's pulling back a little bit, but it's still doing just fine. It's chilling. And then also Meta lives in XLC. And Meta right now, it's selling off a little bit with the market, and it's down after hours as the futures are dropping right now. But if Meta breaks above 600, I do think it can get a pretty fast breakout up to about 630. You just have to wait for a while. 600's pretty far away. It's about 4 to 5% up from here. But this is a setup where, look, hit supply, sell off, hit supply, sell off, hit supply, sell off, hit supply, sell off. If you break through that supply, there's clear buy orders and clear liquidity to squeeze upward. That's if the price breaks.
I'm saying what options, leaps.
Yeah, so I think the best way to trade Meta since it's so liquid would just be buying leap call options. Maybe something like, because then you can partake in potential metaverse investments. And so if that really starts taking off, your investment will start taking off. I wouldn't even need to go that far out. I would probably look at the option chain skew and maybe go out to even just June of 2025. Maybe something like, I would do like a vertical spread, buy the 600, sell the 630, but that's just, we're not going to get into that.
That's way cheaper, right?
Yeah. So like basically it would, instead of costing you $6,000 to just buy a call option, you could go out and you buy the call at the point of the breakout, and then you sell a call where you think is your price target, wherever you think it's going to go. So this is a call debit spread. You're buying the 600 call, selling the 630 call. I'm just going to show you the risk to rewards. The risk is you're going to risk $1,200, let's call it. But $1,200 can turn into about $3,000.
Come on.
If Meta closes above that $630 price target.
And that would call, and so that's cheaper than a leap, right? But you won't get all the upside though.
Yeah, it'll move a little bit slower because you're buying a call and you're selling a call. So
and how much would that cost?
So, and that's just that would cost you $1,200. That's it. That's the most you could lose too. If Meta goes sideways or down after you enter that trade, you would lose the $1,200. If Meta goes up or up a lot, you're capped on your gains, but you can still turn it into $3,000, which is pretty cool. So I like vertical spreads. It's one of my bread and butter types of ways to make money in the options market. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, you're one of the best at it.
Yeah, the options.
Yeah, that's what, listen, if y'all want to learn more about this, or if you want to get like Greg, we be telling y'all buy, sell shit right here, right? Yeah. But if you join Victory Trades, right, you can actually get like the fucking the options strategies. You can learn the options strategies. You can trade with us every morning. Like me and Greg trade every morning. I haven't done it. I didn't do it the last 2 days because I was traveling, and I'm traveling tomorrow. But most days I'm in there every morning trading futures with Greg live. Greg's doing a bunch of trades. I only trade the futures, but I give out my calls, and I'm in green every day for like, I don't know. It's been like almost 2 months, right? You've
been absolutely crushing it. And I even used a bit of your strategy today, and I was up big today. Basically, Brandon is a retracement trader. So he waits for pullbacks, and then he finds the entry, gets a quick little scalp, boom, makes his money, and he's out of there.
If you want to join Victory Trades, first, just join our Discord, hit up Greg, hit up Young Candlestick in there, and say, hey, man, I want to join Victory Trades. Or, that's not free, right? But the Discord is free, and Greg gives a lot of free game in there, too. You can ask him questions directly. I'm in there every day, too. So you can ask me questions directly. But if you want to join Victory Trades, go in there, hit up Greg. He'll set you down a path so you can actually trade with us every morning. Let's keep going.
when you go in the Discord, you'll actually see people in the trading chat. They made money off of Disney calls. So
Yeah,
boom,
just because we said it. We giving out free game in the we giving out the free game in the fucking Discord too every day.
But in the actual victory trades today, we actually closed out a trade for a 100% profit, and it was really cool. We actually shorted Bitcoin by buying BITI. So BITI actually goes up when Bitcoin goes down. And how did I know that Bitcoin was likely to drop? Well, basically, we were up multiple days in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days in a row. And then what I did is I zoomed into a smaller time frame, and I started to notice some resistance. So when you see a big price drop like this after it's hella overbought on the higher time frame and even on the shorter time frames, mark that level. Okay, so Bitcoin sold off from 94,000. Then it tried to break out. And then guess what? It put in a lower high. And then what I'm looking for is where are we going to break support? So right there, that's where I entered the Bitcoin short by buying BITI. And so what's cool about that is I know that I have a lot of margin for profit because BITI has gotten absolutely crushed because Bitcoin's gone up a lot. And so if we actually take a look at this, this is a Morningstar reversal pattern. What that basically means is we've had sell candle, but less selling than before. Then we have a hammer candle, which shows a sign of a reversal. And then today we're getting the confirmation of a reversal. So Bitcoin could see a little bit more downside and BITI could see a little bit more upside. On the right side of my screen, I've got a chart of the actual option that we traded. And what's cool about this is it doesn't take a lot of buying power to do this. I was buying the option at 40 cents. So all it cost me was $40 times however many contracts that you do. And then literally just this morning took profits on this little pump and turned $40 into $85.
Come on, man.
And
victory trades, man. Fuck with us. Or if you don't want to join victory trades, at least join the victory unit so you can take advantage of all the fucking free game, right? So you can get some fucking bread. Like we'll help you for free too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, definitely. It's just a fun time. Like it's a chill hangout session. There's always money to be made. There's always a setup. We're all learning. We're all helping each other out. I was telling Brandon, like, hey, all my friends now, I just like getting money with them. So that's the best way to hang out with people is just make money together.
Let's get it, man. All right, so what else we got?
So that was basically the overall Bitcoin trade. And I also just wanted to update you guys on that advanced option strategy. If Bitcoin falls into this zone right here, I'm going to make $280 cash. And even if it dumps tomorrow, I don't think it's going to dump, 20% in a day. But it could. I'd still.
Oh, that was a trade you gave us last week. That was a trade you gave us last week.
And so basically right now the trade is up $32, but it could be up $300. And all this took was just $4,400 in buying power.
Oh, come on, man.
Okay.
All right.
Well, actually, I think I don't want to go too far into this, but Pepsi and other consumer staples stocks could be going into some relative strength because we might be going into a period of higher inflation because of the lower interest rates. And so because of that, grocery stores like Walmart, you can take a Walmart field trip with your kids, right? And basically, what's cool about that is they can pass on the inflation costs to the consumer, especially under a Trump presidency where there's no price controls. So that's something to consider. So consumer staples might see some relative strength, and Pepsi, its fair value is about $174. Pepsi also pays a dividend of $1.35 per share. So you basically already get guaranteed cash flow. And if it can recover, you can maybe make 6 to 10% over the course of a year. That's one of like a smaller type of trade. If you're also looking for another type of cash flow investment. Yeah, Macaric. This is a REIT. I do think that you could probably wait for a better deal. Maybe like 1740 would be a good dip buy. But the fair value on the stock is $23 a share. Currently, it's at $19.23. So even from current prices, it has a potential 20% upside. But what's also cool about it is you can sell covered calls and it pays that 6% dividend.
Bro, I bought it, put it on a yearly chart. I bought a ton of Mace Rich at around there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's huge. That's October 2022. you know,
And I
since
didn't get assigned until like
probably
earlier
somewhere
this
like
year.
around here.
So I was around there. Yeah.
You probably doubled your money and you got
Yeah.
paid while
And I
you
got
waited to
dividends
double your money.
the whole time. That was one of my biggest holdings at one point.
That's badass.
Yeah.
That's super badass.
All right.
I love cash flow investing because you get that guaranteed cash flow. Your account stabilizes, but occasionally you'll get some really big winners. Like I had a lot of shares of Calm stock down here in like the 45 zone, and I just held it because of the dividends. But the actual stock
Was
itself,
that Coles, you said?
Calm. So this is an egg producer stock. I'm not saying it's a buy now. In fact, I should probably sell my shares, but it keeps you in trades longer when it pays a dividend because you just keep getting that cash flow. It spits it into your account. If you want to, you can put on DRIP, dividend reinvestment program. I don't do that because I just like getting the cash.
Yeah, I want to decide where I'm gonna put my dividend.
Exactly. I don't want to throw it right back in. Yeah, I really like cash flow investing. You know, you can do the yield maxes. So let's say you like Meta, you can do FBY for Facebook. And this is just the income version. It spits out monthly dividends. Yeah. TSLY is the dividend version of Tesla. Pays out monthly dividends. GUI, dividend version of Google. AMZY. I like all of these. And I think they're great dollar cost average candidates.
Yeah, yeah. All right. I got some questions. I got some individual stocks.
Let's go.
All the FIs, Spotify and Shopify now.
Ooh, Spotify with the breakout continuation.
Yeah.
I mean, this is one of those things where the buy price is tricky, but if you're in it, you can just hold. Like if you're up a lot on a trade, you can just hold, let it ride. I wouldn't short it, but it's really tough for me to say buy after multiple days up. However,
all-time highs,
You could wait for a retest. 420. That's a hilarious number to dip by at. So you know, it should be pretty good. Otherwise, 420, 386 is the former all-time high from early 2021. So that's Spotify. I like Shopify a little bit better for a buy. Shopify, I need to redo some fair value calculations, but Shopify, if it could maybe break over the tweezer top at 115, that could be an aggressive breakout setup. I'm probably not going to take it. Otherwise, again, this entire
wait for the retest.
Yeah, this entire gap zone can be support. So whenever you see a big gap, that whole area could be an area to sell cash secured puts on, bullish put credit spreads, accumulate shares, whatever you want to do.
All right. The fuck? XLF and Berkshire.
Let's check it out. So XLF kind of just looking like the S&P, just going dead sideways. We are building like a balance range, meaning we got equal highs, but we also got equal lows. Again, I would wait on XLF probably for about 48 now. So my earlier dip buy is about 47.50, but as price moves higher, I've got to readjust my dip buy. I bet if I put a few key moving averages on there, it would probably line up with the 48 level.
Yeah.
It's not a short. It's not a buy right now. Just let it sell off so that you can build your margin of profit.
All right.
And then let's check it out.
Berkshire.
BRK/B. Well, this one's just going dead sideways. Man, yeah, I got nothing else to say. I wish I could give you like some crazy analysis on it, but I don't think like
what it is. You got to take what the chart gives you.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's a choppy chart. It could dump, it could pump. That's pretty much all I gotta say. You know, I believe that Apple's a decent weighting in Berkshire, but I think they did lighten up on some Apple. Apple's got like a little bit of a resistance zone. I would say up to like 233. That'd be a supply. It's again pretty tricky because we have an impulse wave down, and then we have like a counter trend channel. This is technically a bear flag still, unless you break the upper end range of the channel. But even then, there's supply there. I think Apple's a short underneath 223.
Okay. All right. You got 2 super chats.
Oh, that's what's up. Solana, yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Patrick is asking, Young Candlestick, can you do a breakdown on So?
Yeah, definitely. So to break down alternative currencies, you got to go on TradingView and you type in Sol USD. I would be bullish Solana fundamentally. It is one of the better altcoins. Again, though, I'm not a crypto expert, so fundamentally, don't listen to me there.
How do you even buy this shit?
You would want to go on Coinbase. Coinbase is probably the best way to do it. It's one of the most regulated, safest cryptocurrency brokers. But in terms of Solana, I think a dip buy near like 183 could be good. Otherwise, if you're already long, the cost to sell crypto, it's just not worth it. I think if you're going to buy it, you should just do it for the long haul. Yes, there are great trading opportunities in crypto, but I'd say it could be a dip buy near 183 per coin. Or if you wanted to, you could take a little breakout buy if it gets over 223. And you'd likely see that confirming on Bitcoin itself. So kind of
can you buy it on Robinhood?
You might be able to buy it on Robinhood. I'd have to double check though.
I'm gonna check right now.
But Solana, just think of it as just like you're kind of leveraging up on Bitcoin, but they do have their own use cases and projects. But let's say you see Bitcoin breaking 94K, you'll probably see Solana start to break 224, and then from there we can take a look at something like the weekly time frame. Again, you could be targeting 260. And then if it breaks 260, all-time highs are in play. And the sky's the limit. The monthly time frame on Solana looks really, really bullish because we've got a pennant. So we got lower highs, we got higher lows, we got the impulse wave up. So you could take a measured move of this impulse wave, and that could be the measured move on Solana. Interesting altcoin. I would include it as part of a crypto portfolio. I personally like to invest in businesses and companies that generate.
You can't sell options against Solana, can you?
No, at least not yet. At least not yet.
That's why I'm not in any crypto. All right, cool.
Unknown's asking me, Young Candlestick, what do you think of Celsius? Really good question. I get asked about Celsius a lot. So Celsius, there's a lot of really interesting developments on the chart. So we've got that big ass breakout from like the 60 level all the way up to 99. We reject from that level. We come all the way back up. Guess what? It was still supply. So this is what we call a textbook double top. We sell off, and then guess what? We break support. Since then, it's been making lower highs and lower lows, lower highs and lower lows. I was asked about Celsius when I went live in Discord, the Victory Unit Discord yesterday, and I said I would wait on it because it's still in the downtrend. And even today, it's having a down day. I would wait on Celsius for it to really get oversold. I do think that there could be some good demand near the 21 level. If we take a look at the Morningstar report, I have this memorized, but I'll pull it up just for fun. The fair value of Celsius stock is $36 a share. So does it have to get to $36? No, but it could tend to gravitate towards that in the long run. This is also there's also seasonality when it comes to Celsius. So people might be pounding those Celsius drinks more in the springtime and summertime.
Yeah, because that's when we caught that last spring is when we caught that huge wave. We went crazy when I called out Celsius. When I called it out, it was that first.
You called around there. 50. You called it at 50. So
and then how much did it go?
It went up 100%. You doubled.
Come on, man. Yo, if you was in Victory, just on the podcast, you would have made money. Not even like in Victory Trade. If you were watching the podcast, we made. And then I gave my sell rating when I set the sell. We came up.
It was around 80 when we were like, Celsius.
Let's get out of here.
Isn't worth it. So it would have still caught like 50% if you didn't sell the top.
Yeah.
That's cool though.
The thing is, the volume is getting higher on that on the way down. So I don't feel good about it.
Sellers are really in control. However, if or when this bottoms, this can have a wicked reversal. And so it's one of those things where I would just take a look at this whole demand zone. We got a good launch pad from it. If we come into this zone, I think the wheel is in play for Celsius. Yeah. And I wouldn't try to hold it all the way for that $36 fair value. I would be conservative and maybe sell something at like 28, maybe sell a little bit at like 32. I wouldn't get greedy and try to go for 36.
We should see what how much it's shorted. Not now, but at some point.
Yeah, the short flow, if I do recall, it is pretty high. And that's part of the reason why it's squeezed so well. So if there's a very high short float, that means a bunch of people are betting against the stock. Now, remember, every short seller has to buy to exit their position. So it's like the opposite. Normally, when you buy a stock to exit the stock, you got to sell it. If you short it, you're selling to enter the trade, and then you're buying to exit the trade. So if there's a lot of short sellers and then the price starts spiking, they've got to buy to actually cut their losses. Just like when dumps occur, buyers have to sell to cut their losses. So basically what I'd say is I let it get really oversold to build your margin of profit and then see if you can't get a rebound after that. But I would wait on it for now.
I like that. I like that. All right, cool, man.
Oh, hey, Jesus. He's a Victory Trades member.
All right. Shout out to Jesus. What's good? All right, great. Listen, guys, join the Victory unit, right? The Discord, you can get the free trade advice. And if you want to join Victory Trades and actually get the alerts straight to your phone and trade with me and Greg every morning, holler at us, man. Go on the Discord, hit up Greg, hit up Young Candlestick, and he'll sort you out. All right.
Definitely.
Cool. All right, go. Let's get it. For Joe, peace. What other super chats we have before I get back into this next part?
We have King Carbs. Hey, Brandon, I'm shifting my lawn care business to a monthly subscription model. Where do you think is the best place to build a website with a payment processor for automated billing?
I mean, it depends on what your needs are, right? Like, I mean, that kind of stuff can be done on Shopify. It can also be done on WAP. Wet ass profit. We talked about the other week, it can be done on WAP depending on how sophisticated you need your website to be. If you need it more sophisticated, then you can do it with Shopify. You can also do it with ClickFunnels, right? You just have to link Stripe up to ClickFunnels, so you can set up a monthly subscription. I mean, this is actually like, what can't you do it with, right? Depends on what you need, right? For example, when I still train some people online, right? And I take the payments with WAP, but I don't really use it. I don't use the other functionalities from online training. I just use it as a payment processor, and that works really good, but it depends on what you need, like what kind of website you need, you feel me? Yeah, but anything will work. Like anything will work. If you're going to use, I think Shopify payments, you can do that, or you can just get a Stripe account and link that to Shopify or link that to ClickFunnels. But I would use Shopify, ClickFunnels, or WAP, depending on what you need. All right. What else we got? Or is that it?
We have Annie here. What about Hormozi and his platform Skool? Funny ads?
I'm not as familiar with Skool, and I'm just not that familiar with the platform. I know it was built by the fucking guy. Alex bought it from him, or he bought interest in it, but it was built by the other fucking guy, man. Sam Ovens, right? And it was built by Sam Ovens, and then Alex bought equity in that. And I'm just not as familiar with it, I'm gonna be honest with you. So I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's good. It depends on what you need. As far as I know, they don't have their own payment processor integrated within it. Like you have to hook up Stripe or something like that, where WAP has its own payment processor. Like, and it's so robust that I use WAP as a payment processor. You know what I'm saying? Like, just sometimes I don't even use the other functionality, right? Just the payment process. So that's why I like WAP. And Stripe accounts get shut down all the time. Stripe will fuck with you sometimes, I mean, they know they've been good to me. Stripe is great. I love Stripe. I love you. Hey, Stripe, I love you guys too. I love everybody, all the payment processors. I'm a big fan of all of y'all. All right, let's keep going.
We have Steep Deej. This is just a praise comment. The
Yeah,
value
let's read that. Let's read that. Let's read it out loud.
The value I receive from this podcast
Yeah.
is incredible. Gotta
Yeah.
make time for it every single Tuesday and Thursday.
You got to, brother. Hey, I feel that, man. I feel that. Listen, let's shout out to that brother. Show him some love. Give him some praise.
We have D Mill. Appreciate you, boss. I'm on my way to my first million. Thanks to you.
Come on, D Mill. Come on, man. We gotta bring that name into fruition. You know? All right, cool. All right, let's get back to what we was talking about in habits of a winner. All right, so if you're just joining us, I talked about how you got to make money this year and we need to invest because I really believe that 2025 is going to be a huge, we're in a huge bull market and I don't see no end in sight. We might see some corrections up and down, but I think the market's going to be way higher than it is now this time next year and into 2026. Actually, Trump's whole term. I think he's going to do whatever he can in his power to keep the economy and the market sky high, if nothing else, for his own ego, right? And and if you broke, then that shit ain't really gonna help you that much. In fact, there's a lot of shit he's got set up. I think it's gonna make shit more expensive. Like the tariff plan, every economist says that that's actually gonna increase inflation, right? Because it will incentivize American production. But American production is more expensive, right? You know, and those expenses get passed on to you, the consumer, right? So you better get the money. It's like it's either ball or fall, right? But I'm gonna show you the ball that I talked about time management, right? Use Google Calendar to plan out every hour, every day, and we're doing that so we can work 80 hours a week. We are not going to increase our lifestyle expenses, right? Because we're working more, we're working twice as much. In fact, we're going to invest 50% of our money in the market. You can buy real estate too, but I really, if the market, man, these few years is gonna be dope. All right, and the next thing we need to do is, honestly, we got to build discipline. This is very important, and the reason I say that is because you can come up with all these plans, you can say you're going to do all that shit, but you still got to do it. Like, you motherfuckers set goals this year you didn't accomplish. You made fucking goals and plans this year you didn't accomplish. Why? Because you didn't have the discipline. I want you to think about this, man. I wasn't really born with any real advantages except for being tall and handsome, right? But other than that, I didn't have no real advantages. I was born in South Side Chicago, motherfucking black ghetto. You know what I'm saying? Goddamn war zone, right? Where Little Dirk and them is, King Von and them is from. I can walk over there from where I grew up, right? It's really like that. And my father blew his brains out when I was in my early 20s. And the only reason I'm here is because of discipline. A lot of people say luck. I hear all the shit about luck. You could have been as lucky as me. Or if I would have had these lucky opportunities, so lucky my dad blew his brains out. But any luck that I did experience, if I wasn't disciplined, I wouldn't have been able to take advantage of it, right? Everybody had the same opportunities as me. Everyone saw YouTube. Everyone saw online training. In fact, I was trying to put other motherfuckers on, right? And some of them tried, but they didn't have the discipline to stick to it, right? So you got to build discipline. And I really think one part of building discipline is I believe that a lot of you guys can't stick to a task because you're too impatient, right? It's not that you're not strong enough to do it. Some of you just aren't strong enough. You don't have enough discipline, and I'll address you motherfuckers in a minute. But a lot of you guys just are too impatient. You try something for a minute or a day or once or twice, and you give up when you don't see results immediately, right? So we have to have patience. But it's weird because it's patience, but also urgency. Right? Because the game plan I'm laying out for you guys is not a get rich quick scheme. I haven't found a get rich quick scheme. And believe me, I looked. Believe me, I looked. It doesn't exist. Right? And even if you do find a get rich quick scheme, like I know some motherfuckers bought some weird coin, or some motherfuckers who bought some NFTs and made millions. Where are they now? Where are they now? Because if you fuck around and get successful on accident because you got lucky, but you don't have the discipline, you're not going to be able to maintain that success. Right? Think about it, man. People want to, if anyone wants to say I'm lucky, right? Let's say you got as lucky as me. Let's say you ended up being a fucking 6'2" multi-millionaire living in downtown Miami, right? Would you be trying to get to sleep at 9:30, 10:30 every night? No. You motherfuckers have like 30, 35 baby mamas right now, right? Maybe some STDs, right? You'd be all fucked up, right? Because you didn't have the discipline. You would lose it. You would lose it, right? You would indulge in the fruits of your labor to the point where you would lose it all. This is why a lot of athletes, they didn't build the financial discipline. They're disciplined enough to work out and run, right? But they're not disciplined. They're not financially disciplined. This is why the average motherfucker in the NFL is literally broke 5 years after they retire. The average, right? Obviously, Tom Brady, he's gonna be fine, right? But I'm talking about the average guy, right? And Tom Brady's improving the average. It's probably way less than 5 years if you don't count Tom Brady and fucking someone else who retired recently. Who's if you don't count Tom Brady and Ray Lewis and them motherfuckers, right? The fucking stars. If you don't count the stars, it's probably way less, right? Anyway, we have to build discipline, and part of it is the patience, knowing that it won't happen overnight, right? But we also have to have urgency, right? So you have to know, you have to think long term and short term. You want to think about your goals long term, but you want to and be patient about your goals, but urgent about today, right? Because let's say, how do I put this? It's like, I want you to think about it. Think about a child, right? Let's say a child who's in your family. All right. Let's say you might not see this motherfucker once, maybe twice a year, family reunion, funeral, wedding, some shit like that, right? You see the kid. And if you only see him a few times a year, every time you see him, he's going to look like he's grown a lot, right? But to him, he might not notice. His parents might not even notice how big he got because it's gradual. It's just a little bit every day. In fact, the amount he's grown from day to day is almost indistinguishable, right? But the way nature works, nature does as much as it can every day, provided the kid has nourishment and all that. So nature's working at capacity each day, even though it's just a little bit. But a year, 6 months or a year of that, it really adds up. But nature's working at capacity, right? You're not working at capacity at your goals every day. But if you worked at capacity every day, as much as you could every day, how the amount of money you made from day to day would, probably won't be a big deal. The amount of progress you make the amount of progress you make in your goal from day to day, it would probably be negligible. An onlooker may not even notice it, right? You're just like, fuck, I worked my ass off today, right? But the amount of success you accomplish is indistinguishable from the other day, right? No one would know. Right. But those days stack up. And just like the child, if somebody sees you a year from now, 2 years from now, if you've been working at capacity every day, it'll be like, fuck, you really came up, So you got to be urgent about going hard each day, but patient about the results. Urgent with your work ethic and patient with your results. And if you have that in your mind, it will be easier for you to stick to it and be disciplined, because the problem is we think if this is time, right? And if this is progress, right? And this is time, we think that it's going to be logarithmic, right? We think that every day, we think it's going to be linear. We think that progress would be linear, right? Because we kind of been trained to think that way, right? Like if you work an hour today, you get paid for an hour of work and it's linear, but success is not like that. We think it's going to be like this, right? Linear. Like the amount of progress we're going to make will be in proportion at a time, but that's not how success works. In fact, it's exponential, right? So it looks like nothing's happening for a long time. And then something happens and then things start to take off, right? The problem is most of you motherfuckers, you can't stay disciplined. It's because you quit in this. You quit when you're in this zone. This is the quit zone, right? In here, this is where people quit. But had they kept going, they would have got more success than they intended, which happens up here, right? It's like we talked about planting seeds, right? You got some dirt, boom. You plant a seed in the dirt. You plant a seed in this dirt. That's a seed, not a vagina. All right, get your mind out the gutter. It's a seed. All right, so you plant this seed, and it's like if you plant the seed in the dirt, you won't see any fucking fruit for a long time. In fact, you won't see nothing for a long time. At first that seed has to germinate. This is not a hairy vagina. This is a seed germinating, growing roots, right? The seeds germinating. It's happening underground, right? Yo bitch ass look at this shit and be like, oh man, I've been fucking watering this seed for mad long and I don't see nothing. I'ma quit. That's how you guys get with all your goals. I don't see nothing happening. I'ma quit, right? That's what happens here. But what really happens in reality, let's cross this bitch out the way. What really happens in reality is the seed at some point is going to sprout. It's going to sprout. Boom. And it's going to have some, right? And then it's going to start growing little leaves and shit. Boom. And then it's going to grow some more. Boom. It's going to have more leaves. And then guess what? You got a whole tree. And then at some point it's going to start bearing fruit. That's fruit. It's going to start bearing fruit after time. But once it starts bearing fruit, it's going to bear fruit every fucking season all the time, right? Exponential growth. That's when you're finally at this phase here. And it's going to give you fruit all the time, no matter what, right? But you had to get through this part when it was just germinating, doing nothing, apparently, but it was happening underground. That's how your goals are. You're working at your goals and it looks like nothing's happening, but at some point, it just starts to sprout and it starts to explode, right? So, but you got to work at it every day. See, this happens naturally in nature. Like, this fucking, it just grows every day. You couldn't stop it. It's in the DNA. With your goals, you can stop. You can control how much work you put in every day. And that's why you give up. So you got to have a mixture of discipline and urgency, right? But in order to do that, we have to make sure we are consistent, right? We have to be consistent. And the best way to make sure you're consistent is tracking. You need to figure out what are the things that need to happen every day to accomplish your goal. Let's say you have a fitness goal. All right, you got to hit your macros every day. You got to hit your calories every day. You got to get enough water every day. You got to get enough sleep every day. You got to train. You got to train every day, or every day you're training, right? You need to actually start tracking how consistent you are doing this. I swear to God, every person I've trained over the last 25 years of me being a trainer, if they never tracked their calories before, as soon as they start tracking, they're like, fuck. I didn't realize I was eating this much if they were trying to lose weight. Or if they were trying to gain weight, they're like, fuck, I didn't realize that I wasn't eating enough. You know, I'm a hard gainer. No, motherfucker. How much you eat every day? I don't know. All right, let's start tracking it. Oh, fuck, you're not eating enough, dummy. Of course. You know what I'm saying? You learn a hard gainer. You don't have this genetic predisposition. You're just a bad eater, right? But it's like that not only with fitness goals, with all goals, man. When I ask people if they're trying to, when they're trying to accomplish a business goal or a financial goal, I'm like, all right, how much are you working at this goal a day? Man, I work hard every day, right? That's what they say. They try to avoid the question. Man, I work hard every day. I'm working. No. How many hours a week? And when we really look at it, it's like, fuck, man, you're not even putting in 20 hours a week. I'm telling you to go super hard. And that's why I put together a free habit tracker for you. All right. We have a link in Notion. It'll show you how to actually not only plan out your goals. It's 2 parts. There's a goal planner where you can like plan out your goals, but you can also plan out your habits every day to make sure you're on point. And you can actually see each day if you're accomplishing your goals. I'm going to show you what mine looks like. Let me bring this up. Where is it? So, hold on. Let me show you. And the link's in the description. You get it for free. Which one was this one? Which one was the fake one? Not the fake one, but the one that I took out the income shit. Let's see if it's this one. Let's see. We'll know because I took out the money because I didn't want them to see the fucking cash. All right. Yeah, that's where I'm going. It has it? All right, so this is not the one. So it's the other one without the money in it. Let's see. Let's make sure. You see money in this? All right, so this is the one. All right, so this is, I can't show you my current one because it's just secret shit in here, right? But this is one for January this year. So I had the days, you'll see it too, right? But my thing, I need to wake up before 5 every day. How consistent am I? There's levels of consistency. I did that about 80% of the time that month, right? So it's some room for improvement, right? How much sleep I got. I didn't get enough sleep that month, right? So I know I had the data. How much did I work out? Boom. And the habit tracker I'm gonna give you guys adds all this stuff up for you too, right? Does the averages. And I show you how to set up your own habits, other things you want to track, right? How many times I work out? 80% of the time. That was my goal. Meditate. It's supposed to be 100. The PM meditation is supposed to be more than that, right? It's not bad, but it's not great. It's not 100. Track my macros though. Or guess what? I did that 100% of the times. That's why I look like this at age 40. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I do this shit. All right. How much protein I got on average? Dope. Right. Then I have how many calories I consumed each day. On average, that was my calorie consumption. The calories I burnt, right? Boom. Then I have it so it adds up. And this will be on your sheet too, right? If you download it. And I can see, okay, I was cutting this month, so I can see I was in a nice deficit. Boom. How much water I drank. This back in time, we was using mint.com. Now we use Monarch to track how many days a week did I track my macro. I could have did more. How many days did I post a YouTube video? Nima, 80% of the time. All right, cool. IG posts. This guy got fired. The guy who was posting like he got fired straight up. Flex pitch was something that I can't tell you what it is, right? TikTok post, that was 100%. Check the sales data. Cool. That's something I need to do. Practice. I can't tell you what to do, but some I practice. So I the hours. No, this is practice in minutes. Yeah, this is in minutes, right? Boom. So I got 1,100 minutes of this practice guitar. How many? It's not a major goal of mine, right? So, but I practice 364 minutes, right? Practice Spanish. Could have practiced more. Yo hablar un poquito español. El jefe de ejercicio para mundo. So I speak a little Spanish. I speak a little Spanish, man. Gatos leche con una mesa 7, 8, 9 carpe diem. You feel me, man? You know what I'm saying? They call me Keto Suave in Dykeman, Washington Heights, All right, anyway, study. I got to study every day. So these is in minutes, boom. Hours I worked each day, boom. You know, you see, like, come on, man, how many hours you really working, right? And this is other shit. How much time I went to the range? I didn't range. I didn't do that much. How much time I spent with my son? I didn't see him that much this month, but I made up for it the next month when I saw it. How many times I spent with the homies? You know what I'm saying? How much my girlfriend was not tripping, right? She was not tripping 90% of the month, right? You know what I'm saying? The time she was tripping landed around, bleeding season. So she gets we give her some grace for that. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'll show you how to track all this. This is all free. You can hit the link in the description to download it. Let's make this year the best years of our life. Like, I really believe this is a year where you got a certain window where we can really maximize our income potential with the stock market and with this new administration. And if you don't take advantage of it, man, you're really gonna be like, fuck, I missed out. If you missed out on the last bull run, during C19, don't miss out on this one. All right, let's go. All right, let's answer any super chats we got.
We have Patrick. Listen to every episode at work. Keeps making my life better. 2025 bull run. Let's go.
Let's go, Patrick. Let's get it. And he's working.
We have Scoop 2427.
All right.
Yo, BBC, does your MBA accounting work at any income level? Asking for a friend.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be difficult to like invest 50% of your money at a low income level. That's why I tell you, hey, let's raise it, work more. Like work more. Yeah, it works. You just gotta work, you just gotta make enough money without increasing your lifestyle where you can invest half your income. So you gotta invest more money. I mean, you gotta make more money. Yeah.
We have David. You changed my life, gained over 100K on IG, and started my online training at 17. While being GD in school, I use Google Calendar, but I can't seem to fit all of it.
Yo, first of all, shout out to you, brother. You know what I'm saying? Listen, all you can do is all you can do. It's like, are you doing all you can do? You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you're maxing out the time on your calendar, we all get 24 hours, right? And if it's not enough on, it sounded like you're saying you can't fit enough in the 24 hours. Yeah, you can't make more time, right? We got to allocate it. Now, if you're saying you weren't getting to it, then you got to be more focused, David. But shout out to you, brother, man. You're on the right path. And the thing about Google Calendar, nobody's great at it at first. Like, we overestimate or underestimate how much time it's going to take to accomplish each task. But you just want to keep doing it, and then you'll get better at figuring out how much time you need to allocate to different tasks. It just takes practice. You'll get better at it. But starting at 17, man, you do this shit for 20 some years like me, man, you'll be successful. I promise you. Patience mixed with urgency, homie. We
have Geek Monster Gaming. I don't mind the workplace for the devil to bombard you with low-key desires. Napoleon Hill found when looking for the most successful, found that the failures work less and engage in lots of promiscuity and other lowly desires.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Listen, man, shout out to you, Geek Monster. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, Geek Monster. Hey, guys, we do this every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. One more thing. I got a free ebook called The 10 Commandments of Online Training. Show you how to grow your online fitness business. Even if you don't have a big following, even if you're not certified, even if you don't have a lot of experience, it might be something this might be something that you can work 80 hours a week at and enjoy it, right? Because when I was working on those jobs, I hated 80 hours a week. But once I started making enough money, once I started online training, it wasn't an option when I first started doing it. But now it's an option, it's a viable option. I've helped over 15,000 students build their online fitness business. And if you love fitness and you love helping people accomplish their fitness goals, then working 80 hours a week may be fun, right? If you love it, who wouldn't want to do more of what they love, right? And that's what I found. That's why it was easy. Once I started that, it was easy to work 80 hours a week. But before that, it was like arduous. Like I was, like it was very difficult for me mentally and physically because these were back-breaking jobs. But online training is like just at the computer, and it was a less physically demanding and a lot more rewarding and more fun. Right? Click the link in the description. You can download that book for free. All right. Holla at y'all. Let's get it. Peace.